the myth of time management. I should begin this chapter by admitting that I do not consider myself a great manager by any means. Neither have I been a great planner. In fact, I've never even written a business plan in my life for any of my businesses. However, I've always been able to effectively manage myself well enough to build multiple companies from scratch that are profitable. Time management has never been something I considered valuable for myself, even though I do spend time on those things that I think are most valuable. I often receive questions about time management and balance in my seminars. I have found throughout my career that the people who are most concerned with time management and balance in their lives are the very same people who believe in notions of shortages that we discussed in the earlier chapters. Most don't even know how much time is available to them or what tasks are most necessary to accomplish in the time they have. Look, if you don't know how much time you have or need, then how on earth can you expect to manage time and balance it? The first thing you must do is to make success your duty by setting distinct and definitive priorities. I can't do this for you. Of course, everyone's priorities are different. However, if success is a main concern for you, then I would suggest that you spend most of your time doing those things that will create success. Of course, I don't know what success means in your life. It could involve a variety of people and things, finances, family, happiness, spirituality, physical or emotional well-being, or if you're like me, it would include all of them. And remember, it can be all of them for you. I personally am not interested in balance in my life. I am interested in abundance in every area. I don't think I should have to sacrifice one in favor of another. Look, successful people think in terms of all, whereas unsuccessful tend to place limits on themselves and think in terms of one or the other. They may believe that if I'm rich, I can't be happy. Or if I thrive in my career, then I won't have time to be a good father, a good husband, or a spiritual person. In fact, it's interesting to me to notice that the people who put limits on them the most about what is available to them are also the most inclined to talk about balance. However, this is a flawed manner of thinking that neither time management nor balance will resolve. Look, as far as I'm concerned, it's pointless for people to worry about time management and balance. The question they should be asking is, how can I have it all in abundance? Successful people have attained the things they desire in quantities so great that no one can take them away from them. And how can a person consider him or herself successful if he or she isn't happy? What happiness is there in being unable to pay the bills or provide for your family or worry about your future? The moment you achieve one goal you've set for yourself, then it's time to establish a new target. Quit thinking in terms of either or and start thinking in terms of all and everything. That's right. Quit thinking in terms of either or and start thinking in terms of all and everything. As I was writing this, a client sent me a message asking, "Man, do you ever rest?" I jokingly wrote him back seconds later, "Never." I do, of course, like every other human being. However, I know how much time is available to me. I know what my priorities are, and I know it is my duty, my obligation, and my responsibility to go after them in the time I have. I challenge you. I challenge you to keep track of how you're first spending your time, your available time, and maybe journal it. Most people have no clue what they even do with their time, but then complain that they don't have enough time. Did you know that every single person has 168 hours in a week? And based on a typical 40-hour work week, the average U.S. employee only works 37 and a half hours of the 168 hours available, with 30 minutes for lunch each day. And it's pretty unlikely that most people actually even work the average 37 and a half hours. In fact, the average individual spends 22.3% of his or her available time at work, 33.3% asleep, and 16.6% in front of a TV or online. And those comparisons assume that the person spends 100% of his or her time at work actually working. Then these very same people worry about balance and time management. But an imbalance is always going to occur when you don't do enough with the time you have. While most people claim to value time, most in fact, don't seem to know very much about time. Like, who creates time? Do you create your own time, or does someone else do that for you? What can you do to create more time? What does the expression "time is money" mean? How do you treat time to make sure your time is money? What is the most important thing that you should do with your time? See, all these questions are worthy of your consideration and require your attention in order for you to maximize time. Now, let's assume that you have 75 years to live in this lifetime. That's approximately 657,000 hours, or 39,420,000 minutes. Take any given day of the week. You have an average of 3,900 Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, etc. Now, here's the scary part of it. If you're 37 years old as you listen to this, then did you know you only have 1,950 Wednesdays left? What if you only had $1,950 left in your bank? Would you watch it slip away, or would you do whatever you could to increase it? I believe that I can do more with 1,950 weeks than most people will ever do. The only way to increase time is to get more done in the time you have. Look, if I could get 15 phone calls done in 15 minutes and you get 15 phone calls done in 1 hour, then I've essentially created 45 minutes for myself. In this way, the 10x rule makes it possible to multiply time. That's right. The 10x rule makes it possible to actually multiply and control time. If I hire someone and pay that person $15 an hour to make 15 calls every 15 minutes, then I duplicated my efforts, and my time then becomes money. To really understand, manage, maximize, and squeeze every opportunity out of the time you have to fully understand and appreciate how much time you have available. You must first take control of your time, not allow others to do so. If you listen to people discuss the topic of time, especially in regards to the amount they have at work, you'll probably hear a lot of complaining. People act as though work is something to get through, yet in reality, they spend very little of their time at work. Most people only work enough to make it feel like work, whereas successful people work at a pace that gets such satisfying results that work is a reward. Truly successful people don't even call it work. For them, it's a passion, a hobby, something they want to do. Why? Because they do it enough to win. An easy way to achieve balance is to simply work harder while you're at the office. This won't just leave you with more time. It will allow you to experience the rewards of your job and make it feel less like work and more like success. Try to take this approach. Be grateful to go to work and see how much you can get done in the time you have. Make it a race, a challenge. Make it fun. The first thing you do when managing time and seeking balance is to decide what is important for you. In which areas do you want to achieve success, and in what quantities? Write down those things in order of importance. Then determine the total amount of time you have available and decide where you're going to allot time to each of these endeavors. Another thing to do is log how you are spending your time daily. And I mean every single second. This will allow you to see all the ways in which you are wasting time, those little bad habits and those activities that in no way can contribute to your success. Any action that is not adding wood to your fire should be considered wasteful. Think Xbox, online poker, watching television, napping, drinking, taking smoking breaks. The potential list is endless. Brutal, isn't it? Yes, it is. But look, if you don't manage your time, I promise you that you'll waste your time. Of course, things will change throughout the course of your life and in your career. You'll get older. You achieve and then generate new goals. Different things and people will enter your world. All these changes require that you continue to modify your priorities. For example, I listened for years to parents who told me I didn't understand how to balance work with family because I didn't have children of my own. Well, I recently had my first child, most assuredly an event that demands more of my time, and was able to experience this for myself. What I found was not a problem with balance or work, but rather a solution based on priorities. My daughter merely gave me another reason to create success.